Way too many companies are really good at having the right words on the wall and in the handbook. But if it's written on your heart, it's organic. And I think that people can't fully be inspired unless what you're trying to inspire them with is something that you really believe, that you have a core conviction. I think that the greatest enemy to inspirational leadership is pride and selfish people that really are, you're here to serve me. The hardest thing I think for people that have had some level of success is to get over yourself and to humble yourself. I think that's where things really began to take off when I realized that there's something bigger that brought me to this party, and I have a purpose that's bigger than getting dollars. It's touching lives. It's about building a community, right? Not just a community, it's building a healthy community of people who really like one another.
When you come here, you really don't understand what type of culture you're really getting into. The past places that I've worked for, the stress outweighed the enjoyment. And coming here, the enjoyment outweighs the stress, which has made me happier as a whole. This place has just made me so much better in all aspects of my life.
The commitment we have to each other in the good times, and the good commitment we have to each other in the times of trial. I remember it was the day before Thanksgiving that my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And it was Thanksgiving weekend that we were sitting at the hospital in Rochester at Mayo, and in walks Dave Twite, who went over an hour out of his way, just that one way, to come meet with us, and sat down with us in my dad's room. It's a holiday weekend, and he was willing to set that aside to come walk with me and my family through this really hard time. And when my dad passed away 18 days later, David was able to step up in front of a packed out church to give testimony about the redemptive work that God has done in my dad's life. He used David mightily in that. It's been great to be a part of that with other people in our company over the years.
Out there at McDonald's in Orange, I was a homeless vet at the time because I done been in and out of the penitentiary. You know, I done did a lot of drugs, you know, and when I met Dave, I was at my end. I was sitting in the lunchroom one day, and this guy came up to me and asked me how I was doing. You know, I didn't know who he was from Adam. You know, and then he introduced himself, said his name was Dave Twite, you know, and, you know, this is his company, blah, 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 blah. He started talking to me about Jesus, you know, and one thing led to another. So I started going to church with Dave, you know. Just met this man, don't know him from Adam. My life started to change, you know, just by him being, you know, being inspirational to me. You know, my life started changing. And I don't know what it is that Dave Twite seen in me, but he seen something in me, and the things that he said to me, you know, it brought me out of all of that.
I'd got a ticket prior to starting there, and I was gonna do some jail time, and he says, well, he goes, I'm gonna tell you what, he goes, I think I find you a valuable worker, and he goes, I'd like to work with you while being in jail. So he kept me on the whole time in jail. But he says, the first thing is, he says, I want you to do a little something for me. And I said, what's that? And he goes, I'd like to have you do a Bible study if you don't mind while being in there. And I thought, well, that was neat. David Twite was always a big inspiration to me, always cared about me, looked after me, and always asked about my family. McDonald and Owens is more than just a lumber company. It's a place of happiness and love. And they reach out and touch everybody there.
They check up on me, and I appreciate that. And it makes, you know, I matter. You know, that's the biggest thing that I get out of this here, is I matter. I haven't mattered up until, in my eyes, I haven't mattered up until I started here. It's just, I needed this place so bad.
If you bring just people in and they become employees, they're here until the better job comes along. If you create a community, a culture, a family of people that feel loved, respected, and inspired, they're chasing the same goals, and the business seems to go on this trajectory. They're not there simply because they're paid to be there. They're there because they believe in the goal, they believe in their leadership, they trust their leaders, they feel safe around their leaders. That to me is financially, that will add more to a company's net worth is if you get inspired people, but I don't think you can inspire them if you don't have something inspirational inside of you.